So we are reading At the Dark End of the Street, Black Women, Rape and Resistance, A New History of the Civil Rights Movement from Rosa Parks to the Rise of Black Power by Danielle McGuire. And our sessions it started June 3rd and they last until July 29th. They are from 6:30 to 8. There was only one more discussion question, and we've been going back and forth actually over it. And that question was, were you surprised to learn of Black male advocates concerning justice for Black women? We've kind of touched on that a lot. I was incredibly surprised to hear. But of course, husbands will take up for their wives. Ideally, we hope so, and brothers for their sisters and cousins. But again, that's just not the stories we hear about. Usually, men. Black men are telling us, be quiet, we're too sensitive, if we didn't dress this way or talk this way, if we didn't walk by ourselves. They're usually giving reasons for our rapes and our assaults rather than taking up for us. And so I was very surprised when I read that the soldiers had written letters and were threatening to not fight if they hadn't indicted Recy Taylor's rapist. And I was like, and I was like, okay, so those men were around. Maybe they still are, so and I did feel powerful learning that history, which is probably why I haven't learned it. So was it anybody have anything else to say that we haven't touched on already about Black men advocating?
Well, I guess I wasn't as surprised. I would be surprised if Black men were advocating on behalf of Black women in 2014. I was not surprised at all to see them doing that in 1944. In fact, recently, you've heard of Obama's My Brother's Keeper initiative around Black men, and there's a group of 200, I think, Black men who wrote a letter to the administration saying that they believe that Black women and girls should be included in the concerns of the initiative. That was shocking. That was shocking to me. It felt good.
Yeah, like why they're invisible.
Yeah. But because of where I fall on the timeline, I still have vivid memories of black men who were strong and protective, and that's not to say they didn't have their patriarchal ways, but certainly they were not the main ones disrespecting you. Now when we turn on the radio, anywhere, I don't want to say too much about it because I have not yet taken the time to listen to the entire sermon because I don't really want to. But
Right.
the current controversy is about Jamal Bryant using the line "These hoes ain't loyal" in his sermon, and which is, I think, a Chris Brown lyric. So, I know we shouldn't say too much if we haven't listened to the sermon and really know the context, but, it does make me wonder, well who's the leader? Is Chris Brown the leader? Or is the preacher the leader? I mean, where is it safe for a black woman or girl to go without feeling like she may be verbally assaulted, if nothing else, by the black men in her life? Even the black men in leadership positions. And so no, I wasn't shocked by the 1944 black men who were standing up for black women, but I was saddened to know how much we have lost since then.
The ones who have so much hatred for black men, you have to question, where is this behavior coming from? How was it learned? So understanding where it's learned, and if it's a cultural thing, if it's a culture that was developed to continue to foster hate towards the men,
Right.
Particularly black men. We want to.
It's definitely learned behavior.
It's just concerned, and you wonder why it hasn't changed, or when it's going to change, or if people are aware of it. Especially the young generation. If it's ever going to change. So that's to say.